bring us in with a meaty intro.
Meaty. Go.
A very meaty intro. Go back to your days of radio.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Hell to Play podcast. This is episode 12. We hope you've been enjoying it up to this point. And right now, I'll turn it over to your co-host of the evening. Take it away, man.
That was terrible. Can you do that again? I'm just kidding. That was great. That was great.
Thank you, Tom. I've never felt more professional than listening to you on the mic.
Very professional. Warm.
Beautiful.
It was like a warm hug.
It did kind of warm me up a little bit.
I got deja vu just by saying that.
No hugging, 6 feet, 6 feet.
All right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if he was actually hugging me because that's what was happening. Look. Okay.
Concealed carry, by the way. I felt that.
You're welcome.
Oh my God. Last time the four of us were together on the mics, it was that'd be episode 7 a couple weeks ago. I think like 4 weeks ago, maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago, when this all first kicked off. Tom was dropping the knowledge on his thoughts with coronavirus, and I think like all the sporting shit all just started kicking off at that point. So I don't know, while you're here and have graced us with your presence,
as he's looking at his watch, letting us know that he doesn't have much time.
It's the 14th.
All right.
Because the 14th of April was a very big day in the marketplace today. The Dow was up, I believe, 559 points. The NASDAQ was up over 325, I believe, somewhere right around those numbers. And that's huge. But I think the tone was set. I talked with a lot of different analysts, economists that in that realm. And yesterday, there was a release from Goldman Sachs, very well-respected money management firm, and they completely did a 180-degree turn. They had been saying right up until last week, through last week, that they felt the market was going to be in a bear market all year, that the S&P 500 would go down and hit around 2,000. And yesterday on Monday, they came out and they said no. They feel that a bottom's been reached and solidified, and that the market would be moving forward. And instead of a low of 2,000, they're looking for a high of 3,000 by the end of the year. And it seems like more and more people are coming around to that way of thinking. The biggest thing is, some people say, well, price to earnings ratios are going to be all whack, and earnings companies are going to be suffering so much. Well, that's a given. Nothing's the way that it used to be. Our GDP, which is annualized, for the second quarter could be as much as minus 40%. Those were some of the lowest projections I saw, but they're expecting the start of a return to normalcy in the third and fourth quarter. And what people are looking at right now, the traders, the investors, everybody today in the marketplace, is not what are the earnings currently. It's what are the earnings going to be in 2021. And it's looking good. There's going to be, potentially surprises, things like that. But the other big thing that I would take away from it is, on a personal level, people that I work with, in November and December of 2018, when we had a 27% drop in the market, the low point was Christmas Eve. It turned around and started going up after that. I had a lot of clients that a few of them were outright panic mode. A lot of them, very concerned, nervous. This time around, and perhaps it's because that wasn't that long ago, and basically you told them, just sit on your hands, don't do anything. The market's going to go back up. Worst thing you could do right now is try to move money around. This time around, I have not had one single client that expressed any deep concern or anything at all. In fact, the calls that I've been fielding for the last couple of weeks have been from people thinking there's got to be something out there we should be buying. There's got to be deals out on the board. So the mindset is different. Of course, the circumstances driving the market down, there was nothing economic. It was all a fear, virus, that sort of thing. So
Thank you for saying that.
Moving forward, it'll be should improve. Like I said, we're not out of the woods yet. There'll be ups and downs and everything, but the overall trend should be going back up. And there are a lot of companies out there. When you look at what they were priced at 2 months ago and what they're priced at now, and it could be a phenomenal recovery over the next 12 to 18 months.
So, kind of a layperson's perspective on that would be stay where you're at and get ready to invest, or start investing now.
Well, now with investing, the thing I always tell people is if you're not in it for the long term, you shouldn't be putting money in,
Right.
especially with a market like this. But if you have, you've got money in an IRA, you got money in an account that you're not planning on needing or touching or anything. Now, not saying throw it all in now, but start buying. With my clients about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, I went back in and started rebuying positions that we had sold at a pretty significant profit, thanks to some stop losses that we had on. But in that case, I said we're only gonna buy back half the number of shares that we sold. So that left them with about 2/3 of their money in cash in that. And we've been dabbling in as different companies are going to present themselves and be pretty significant buys.
Weird.
So I have a question. For anybody that might be listening to this, that I don't know, maybe is coming into a smaller sum of money, say $1,200. Do you think that they should go ahead?
34 if you got
yeah. What? How much of that should they throw all that maybe into something like this? Or, if it's extra money, say you got a 2-income household, should you be feeding the market? Should you be buying a bunch of stupid shit? Is this just extra money? Or what would be like from your perspective, what would you tell someone to do?
If they don't need it and they're not putting themselves on a time frame that might be too short, it would be worthwhile to put it in there. You're not getting anything on a fixed income investment.
But question real quick. But is that not giving them back the money they just gave you, because they bailed out those big businesses? So are you not just giving, they use all that money in this bailout to bail out big businesses? Are you not, if you invest it back, right, all of it back into like the stock market, are you not just giving it back to the big businesses that just got the bailout?
No, the money's in your
Am I reading
name,
that wrong?
so it doesn't matter where it goes. I always get a kick out of when the government assesses penalties for things tax-wise, where they say, we would have, earned this much interest on it. They don't hold that money at all. It's just a constant circulating thing.
Gotcha.
But, with things like that, if a person doesn't need it, I wouldn't put that. I wouldn't go trying to pick out one single stock or anything, but with an exchange traded fund like Knickerbocker's firm, the First Trust.
Oh,
That's
that
all good
podcast
money.
brought to you by Tom Knickerbocker.
We're coming to you live next week from Tom Knickerbocker's garage.
Oh man, dreams too.
But they've
true.
got different ETFs, exchange traded funds that will mirror different indexes. Whether it be you want a particular sector, like you want something in technology, you want something in healthcare, you want something whatever in there, or even broader, just going with an overall market index. The thing is, with that smaller amount of money, you don't want to try to have to pick one company. This is something that you're going to have exposure to dozens, if not hundreds, of companies.
Well, Tom, I trust you, and I know you're the smartest financial guy around, so I know you're going to make the best moves. Is it smarter to invest that money or put it all on black?
That sounded so
Yes.
condescending.
No, that was real. That's 100%. Like that's
Oh, is the door locked?
that's me. No, that's me saying like he will. It may have sounded condescending, but that is.
It's like this man is a guest.
I'm vested. I have a
Yeah.
vested
Yeah,
interest.
I
in
know.
his
Yeah, that's
knowledge.
true. That's
Like,
true.
I want him to succeed. So
I just can't tell if it's the Fed's money printer that's just
What's up,
making
dude?
stocks go higher. Because they've printed like a couple trillion
well,
out of
here's,
thin air.
Here's something to think about that. For every federal dollar printed is a dollar of debt gained.
Mm-hmm.
So
Money is dead.
Exactly. So the Treasury goes into debt for $1 for every dollar that the federal prints.
Mhm.
So think about that shit.
Banks can spend $10 for every $1 they get. I heard.
banks can loan one or like
$10 for every $1.
what is it exactly?
I forgot.
What's it exactly?
Yeah.
He concurs. He concurs.
Yeah, it was $10 for every $1 that they have in reserves.
reserve banking.
That's it.
But I think that was recently changed to
Infinite.
0. I think I don't
Yeah.
think they have to have reserves.
That's what I heard.
Is that this emergency thing?
I think so. Yeah, I think they either lowered or got rid of the reserve requirement. But I'm not a banker anymore, so I don't
What
know.
does that do for us? Or does that do anything for? Does that do anything for us? The little people. Does that help anybody?
I'm not sure. It makes it easier for banks to loan money, so money may get easier for a while.
The biggest problem with when you get stimulus things like that and everything, in 2008, 2009, they bailed out the banks, they bailed out numerous businesses and everything, and it worked. It worked to a degree. If you talk to Westbury from First Trust, he's got some thoughts on the whole way that bailout worked. But the problem is, the government actually made a lot of money on that. Money came back in, but they never paid off the loan things that they took in the first place. They just directed it to other programs and pet projects and that sort of thing. And if that happens again, with the size and scope of this round, that could be trouble down the road.
Right. Now I've heard that. So I've heard that this like $3,400 that I should receive will end up costing me $8,000 in taxes throughout the long term. How long will this? How many generate? So I already know that Anders will be affected by this. How many generations will this bailout affect?
Depends if you get term limits.
Well, if they're talking about postponing the 2020 election, I mean, we already got our king seated already.
Bernie?
Not saying I agree with that, but I mean, we just like if they're talking about suspending that, it's like that's the start. That's a slippery slope. We're like, yeah, we'll get to it later. Who gets to anything when they say we'll get to it later? Nobody.
You guys are a lot more serious than the last time I sat in.
This is serious times we're in.
Yeah, I feel like just most of everything that you just said went completely over my head. But hey, I'm unemployed, so I mean, come on. Yeah, what the fuck do I know?
Sucking at the teeth.
Well, I could do. I don't know. You guys want to? You got anything else in that regard, Jackson?
No, I don't know. I started investing. I think my account's up 20% at least since I started a couple weeks ago. So I think it's worth putting some money in for sure.
Well, yeah,
In the
you're
stock
smart as
market.
fuck, man.
Yeah, I do my research, so yeah. I mean, it takes some time though, for sure. I mean, you can always, like he said, put it into ETFs, and that's the way to go if you don't want to really invest in an individual company. So that's that.
So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, what's the smartest thing to do with this $1,200?
I just
if you had to say?
that's a great question. I don't know. That's a great question, man. We know what I'm gonna do is I'm actually investing it in a rototiller, fucking lumber, fencing, and seeds.
razor wire.
Tracksuits.
Well, of course, tracksuits. Come on, but it's
Well, that's what they want you to do. That's ideal because you start moving the economy again.
Stimulate, you could say.
right. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stimulate so that I can evacuate.
Just guys.
We are all via satellite right now. Just for anybody listening.
Yeah. But what I'm doing is I'm gonna take that money and invest it in a fucking garden, man. I'm gonna be more self-sufficient, more self-sustainable. Now, granted, everything that I do is based on the energy that is granted to me by the government because I have to keep the lights on. So I don't have the access to get a bank of batteries and then get an inverter to change the DC to AC current and then power my house on some batteries with some solar power. But I already got in works talking to my dad about it today, and we might get there. We might get there.
Do it.
Yeah.
We got a neighbor that's off the grid.
He's
I
off the
guess.
grid?
Yeah.
Shut up.
So we had a neighborhood power outage like a couple months ago, and we're all just like hanging out in the street, like what's going on? And this dude's lights were on, and he was just chilling.
He's like hanging Christmas lights in
Yeah.
your face, like sucking more power.
Well, if you're starting up a garden and you start wearing nothing but a fig out there, I'm not coming by. Fig leaf.
Can you say that anymore?
Fig? Yeah. Well, I mean, you get a simple three rows of crops. You get your hops, your barley, and your malt.
And then they just
And that's your
become
garden
beer.
Yep.
Right. And then I just put some empty cans there, and then they just
And you wait.
the leprechauns show up and they fucking brew that. How Guinness is made.
I think you can do that for a lot less than $1,200.
Really?
I think you're gonna have some surplus.
I think we need to talk after this about some stuff.
Yeah, why not just a hoe? You need a hoe, a shovel.
Yeah, you don't need a rototiller, man.
Yeah, come on. What are you doing?
Well,
Put that 2-year-old to work.
yeah, it's very true. I think I need to rethink my gardening skills. You got to remember though, this is my first gardening venture, so I will prop up some real funky shit. So
Excellent.
Probably end up going vegan somewhere in there.
yeah, I'll have to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I want to buy. Then all seriousness, like I've already thought I need to buy a rifle. I need to buy a chest freezer, so I can hunt. But I already found out that my wife hates venison, so she's not a fan of that. So I got that's not good.
What about squirrels? Does she like squirrels?
I think they're a bit too gamey for her.
Okay.
Elk meat, bison, all that other stuff. I don't like venison myself.
You don't like venison?
No, I like elk meat, and I like, that's why I get the bison and
Yeah, none
A
of
lot
us
of
really
other
need to be
animals.
self-sufficient. We all just need to start hanging out at Tom's more.
Tom's
Dude's got meat. Dude's got guns.
Bistro.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Man, he's not too hard on the eyes.
No, it's a good
out of
visit.
here.
Let's just say every man leaves feeling satisfied. Tom's Bistro.
That's Beastro.
Beats. I meant what? Did I say bistro? I meant Beats Bros. Okay. So, anyways, that aside, if you haven't heard, our good friend Evan has joined us. Evan, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for letting me crash the party.
Yeah, man.
Of course.
How you doing? I saw a big old fucking dumpster in your
Oh yeah,
driveway, and I'm not talking about you bending over.
Behave.
That's dumpster number 2. We got a little home renovation project in full swing. Got a deadline of mid-May to complete it all, because that's when we're having another kid. So pressure is on.
How does it feel? How does it feel in these times with the whole being with child in these crazy times, like going to doctor's visits and stuff?
It's getting serious. Right?
It's a little wild, and I mean, I've said this probably to John a number of times, but like, if it wasn't for the fact that my wife was pregnant, I wouldn't really be too concerned with this whole coronavirus nonsense. But the way that the hospitals are reacting to it, it's a little concerning, because if either me, Kayla, or Forrest, or any of us had the virus, I don't know. I've heard, and I think it's true, that they quarantine your newborn for 2 weeks. Just because there's a chance they would get it.
Yep, I've heard the same thing.
So that's kind of our main concern. So that's, we're trying to keep our distance and, just avoid as much as possible, I guess.
Well, you're doing a hell of a job today.
taking all necessary precautions.
Absolutely.
But it is. That's insane. Like that's
while simultaneously thinking this is all bullshit.
Dude,
it's a slippery. It's a fine line.
I don't envy. I honestly I don't envy your position, because I can 100% feel where you're at right now, and I know where your head's at. You think it's complete bullshit, but you have to almost conform a little bit because of just the what ifs.
Right.
All the what ifs.
Right.
I think everybody's kind of forced to do that, regardless of your personal feelings. Like, we're being told one thing and experiencing another, and if I may make this about me, that's like what's
need another pod for that.
Well, okay. That's what's happening. UPS update. I needed to get my digs in because they've done nothing. They've changed nothing at all. They are now supplying masks if you want one, but they're not N95 masks. They're not making anything mandatory. There's so many factories and places around that are taking your temperature before you can even get in the building. And I'm not, and again, this is one of those things. Personal feelings aside, whatever I think, it doesn't matter. It's fucking United Parcel Service. They should be taking care of their employees, but they're not. And we're deemed this super essential company. It's gigantic. We're helping so many small businesses, out. Everybody sees probably a handful of UPS drivers every day. Are they wearing masks or gloves or anything? Like, no, these guys are out like in the middle of everything. We're thrown to the fire, like.
Well, if I could say, I mean, you really shouldn't worry at this point based on the, you shouldn't worry about the mask based on the article that I saw posted online via the source of Yahoo that said that Corona may be able to soak through the soles of shoes.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah. So, paper masks be damned. 1/4-inch rubber is not safe enough. So, watch out in your vehicles too, because that shit's gonna eat metal by the time we're done with this stuff.
Yikes.
So don't worry about that. Yahoo's reporting rubber soles on shoes are not safe. So there you go. No fear mongering.
Well, you won't catch Tom Klug wearing a 1/4-inch rubber anytime soon. Can't feel a damn thing. Your thoughts?
Yeah.
He's like, shit. I missed my opportunity to leave these assholes. Yeah.
They'll do, Tom.
Yeah. But it's all. So what the fuck? Who wrote that article? What's the source of that article? But just to cap that whole thing off with UPS is there's to me, there's minimum precautions a company probably should be taking just to maybe make their employees feel like they give a shit. But when I'm seeing like so many smaller manufacturing companies and that are taking these, different precautions and stuff. Now, I'm not saying that I want to go to work every day wearing a mask and gloves or whatever, but boy, it would be nice to, I don't know, feel like your employer actually gives a shit about you during this these harsh times of this fucking pandemic going around, especially when you're handling packages from
You didn't want to say it.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, man.
He always handles with care.
God damn it. You know what? Fuck me.
I don't know.
What am I doing with my life? I quit. I fucking quit.
Your life is one big punchline.
Yep, I just figured it out.
The snap of a rubber glove just makes me nervous. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, you're not supposed to get colonoscopies monthly, right, Tom?
What fun is that?
Oh my goodness. Can't get enough.
Yeah, this guy derails us big time.
Come on, Doc. I thought you had a challenge for me.
I don't remember where we were at before we got
I don't
on
know.
that tangent.
Yeah. Let's get real.
We got it. So we got
talking
our
about
UPS.
Yahoo News and stuff, and it was also on Yahoo today where I see some are claiming that a medication for head lice is showing promise for
Now it's
the
head
virus.
lice. So
we already got the cure. Gin and tonics.
Oh yeah, dude. I've been inhaling quinine daily, dude. I've got enough quinine in me to launch a fleet of ships, because that's where it came. Started
Right.
was
Yeah.
I could launch a fleet of British ships.
Everybody just needs an IV drip of Schweppes tonic water.
Yeah, dude, for real, man.
Throwing a little Bombay or Hendrix or what's your pleasure? What do you?
Oh, New Amsterdam, baby.
Oh,
right.
God.
$18 for a tall ass bottle, son.
Tanquerays.
You're the kind of guy I remember, too, that shops by price in a cigar store. Bad move.
By price? No, man. All I know is that gets me drunk. That's fine. That's fine by me, man. It all goes down in the end, man. Fuck.
Well, I guess this all goes hand in hand, though. It's like there's all these remedies and cures that are, legit, like the hydroxychloroquine.
Yep, hydroxychloroquine and the Z-Pap.
So much, yeah, dude. And just this shit's all just getting buried or debunked, or people are saying this. Just like Yahoo News can tell you that you're gonna get corona through the sole of your shoe. Like what the fuck? This is all just misinformation and distraction to keep people scared.
Correct.
I think you can roll this right into kind of the hot topic for the day was the Bill Gates on Ellen. Now, we can tee off on this for a bit, but
shouts out to Becky for sending us the link to that, by the way. Appreciate it.
That's okay.
Well, basically, I can sum it up for you in a couple of words here. It is Bill Gates confirming what we all thought. He is super evil, but he's a couple of points I want to make on this. I did actually take a couple notes because, I'm very thorough on
while
this
you
stuff.
look at that, I got to get my digs in, and this is where you're probably going to get annoyed, but just the whole way this interview is set up, the whole thing of Ellen doing all this shit of like people doing all this stuff from their house.
Oh,
I mean, are we really supposed to buy this shit? If you can, there's people that actually are just going to work and stuff. So are we really led to believe that Ellen is sitting alone in her living room talking through a fucking webcam? This is Ellen, and it's like shitty audio, shitty video, just so we know that she's just one of us weathering the storm solo in the house.
Well, that kind of called when Portia shows up in the interview, and they actually so the only person that's supposed to be with her in the house, she shows up in the view, and then all of a sudden it pans out. So right there we know that.
Yeah, and she kind of like bends down, just like, oh yeah, is that Bill? Is that Bill right there? I got a question. And she's wearing a fucking mask around her neck because I'm sure she was just out running some super essential errand real quick, because she's just one of us too. But some of the key words this dude drops in this whole thing. I mean, this guy literally wants to. So they got this. And then I think it just changes like that. So I think when she does come in, I don't know if the camera... I think it is a stationary camera. But are we supposed to really fucking think that Ellen is alone in that house or wherever she is? I mean, you got to be fucking kidding me.
Right.
It's just annoying. And we're supposed to think that Ellen is, a number one, like, representative of the people.
Well, they're not going to show the camera crew even if there was one.
No,
anyways,
but I'm just saying, it's like... Are we stupid? Like, are we stupid here? Like, I'm sure there's safe ways to conduct a fucking television show. It's not just...
She could just do an Instagram Live, like, basically, with him, if she really wanted to. Make it way easier.
Yeah, anything. I mean,
Yeah, well, how about Portia coming in with the mask around her neck?
Right.
Like, not even wearing the mask, but the mask around her neck. Like,
because
what
she's just in case. I mean, just in case.
Yeah, in case somebody, an intruder comes in, I could flop the mask on real quick. Then we're safe. We're good.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
This dude wants to vaccinate the entire planet. That doesn't sound fucking weird to anybody. So it's like that Huffington Post article that I sent to you guys the other day where it said, like, the WHO says that, nothing's going to go back to normal until everybody gets vaccinated. So, Bill Gates has had something to do with every step of this entire fucking thing. And this isn't conspiracy, and people who keep bringing that shit up, like, oh yeah, fucking, everybody's losing their minds, like this is you can look this up. I mean, it's just a fact. Event 201 is not a conspiracy theory. It really fucking happened. His TED Talk in 2015, it really fucking happened. I mean, and it's not preventative measures. Event 201 was a play-by-play of everything that's playing out right now.
Right.
He doesn't mention it once in this fucking article.
None of his talks recently he's mentioned, and he's called back on other simulations from years ago, but he doesn't call back on the one that happened
or something?
basically during the outbreak.
Yeah, or a month before the first patient.
If they go back to it, they basically were doing Event 201 at the start of this outbreak. Like, that's what was happening.
And like play ball. Almost like, like the coach sitting around at the whiteboard and it's like, okay, this is what we're going to... Okay, ready, break. Yeah,
so, and they say... Well, real quick, they say, like these simulations are here to, like, find out where our weaknesses are and then to fix them. I think the Event 201 was to find out where our weaknesses are and exploit them. And that's where they got it.
Dude, great. Okay, so to recap that Huffington Post article, though, and, whatever... Crucify me if I am exaggerating any of this, but essentially, isn't it the this foundation that, or this organization that Bill Gates funds is saying that the virus that Bill Gates had everything to do with and does own the patent for
Correct.
COVID-19, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so the Bill Gates' organization is saying that things won't get back to normal until we find a cure for the virus that Bill Gates created, and the person that we need to figure out this vaccination and everybody needs to get it is also Bill Gates.
Now, I have to correct you there. They never use the word cure. They never use the word cure. Yes,
Vaccinate.
correct.
Vaccinate.
Vaccination.
Yes, right.
There's never a cure, only a vaccination, which is also one of the things that they talk about in this. He talks about in this interview multiple times. First, he calls on at the beginning that they're on HIV research, and he's disappointed that he's quarantined, quote unquote, because they were working on HIV research, which COVID-19 definitely has HIV tracers in it. That is proven.
Whoa. So Shiva brought that up in that. Yeah, Dr. Shiva Ayudari, who we've been talking about for a while.
Dude, nice
here,
job on the name pronunciation.
Thank you. He's got that dude's blowing up. I mean, whatever, this video is getting more and more traction and getting shared with more and more people.
Deservedly so.
Yeah, totally, man, because people have been scratching their heads long enough. It's been weeks and weeks, and all these people out of work and everything else, and just wonder, like, what the fuck is really going on here? You have this dude that specializes in systems and viruses. Shiva, he has 4 fucking degrees from MIT. He's
Correct.
running for Senate. Like, this dude's...
He invented email, for Christ's sake.
And he
should
has
know how a virus works.
He has a rock solid... Yeah, he has a rock solid, like, just airtight... Not solution, but just tearing apart everything that's going on with Fauci and all this other shit. And people are finally, like, waking up to it, or at least having an open mind to it, or maybe they have all along, they just didn't know where to find it or find him. But that's getting shared more and more, and goddamn, I'm fucking
No, you're good.
blabbering. Okay.
No, you're good. You're good.
So I was gonna tie that though to stuff like that is getting traction, and at the same time, this fucking video that we're talking about, the Bill Gates on Ellen's show. 30,000 comments on Ellen's Facebook page where this video was shared, all crucifying her, just like, fuck you, Ellen, like, you sold out, that man's a demon. Like, people are getting crazy, but, like, they're not buying it. If nobody thinks it's, like, a little bit creepy that this dude is pushing to vaccinate the entire fucking planet.
He's such an easily hateable character.
It's creepy, and we're not fucking tinfoil hat wearers here, like, talking about this stuff. That's not weird to you, Dustin? You were talking about the when we were on the way over here, like, you had some stats on just like what didn't he get kicked out? Ousted from India?
Yeah, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation they are literally banned from India because during this is like, I want to say early 2000s, they came in with a polio vaccine, and they crippled 50,000 people. So literally the government of India kicked the Bill and Melinda Gates and their foundation out of India.
That was a big thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah, they're like, we're good here. It was kind of we're good here. Like,
yeah.
So, but nobody talks about that. Why the fuck? Why doesn't anybody mention that?
Do you think Bill Gates is following the money here? It's one of those things that Grandpa File taught me a long time ago, is when things are weird, follow the money.
It's a great statement.
He stepped down as CEO of Microsoft. Maybe the money's drying up there, and he's taking on vaccines.
Well, not only did he step down from Microsoft, but he stepped down from Berkshire Hathaway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like, that's something that, like, people work their entire lives for. And
Excuse
Tom,
me.
I'm sure you know that. Like,
Berkshire Hathaway, that's Warren Buffett. Wait.
Warren Buffett, correct?
Warren Buffet, okay.
Yeah,
Warren Buffett and Bill Gates have been big buddies for decades.
Did you say? I'm sorry, sir. Did you say butt buddies?
No, I did not.
big time butt buddies.
Okay, well,
However, you got to remember, too, when you talk about chasing money or stuff like that, you're dealing with the guy who's the second richest person in America.
Well, and I think
Second place is just the first loser, though.
Oh,
and that's a champion.
Gotta get back on top.
That's a champion's mentality right there. This guy would play linebacker for Nick Saban any day. But I think following the money, because Bill Gates is definitely relation to the Rockefellers.
Oh, that's verified.
Is
That's verified truth.
So I think Bill Gates is just used as a Rockefeller plant, and I think we touched on this the last time.
It goes back 7 or 8 generations.
Well,
Yeah.
it's like 12, right?
12? Okay.
But still,
Well, it's one
it
of those
doesn't matter.
weird, like you got to go 12 back.
It doesn't matter, man.
I think-
because
Yeah. Well, Bill Gates, you can only have so much money, and then you just go for the power. There's nothing else. You don't need anything
Right,
else.
this is Grand Theft
Yeah.
Auto thing I
Yes.
talked about.
Yep,
Like once you got the
exactly.
money, you just start killing people.
that we saw that in that was in that Janet Osselman or whatever. So the Fall of the Cabal has if you go Fall Cabal YouTube, she has a 3-part. It's like 45 minutes. She has like a 3-part thing on the COVID-19 thing. Yeah,
Really
and she digs back into Bill Gates' family tree, and yeah, it's deep, and it does go back like 12 generations or whatever. But like what she said, she explains the whole fucking thing, and then like what she says, she's like, yeah, this might seem super far fetched, but I got way deep into genealogy and shit, and I can assure you, there's no royal blood in my family. You know what I mean? It's and once you're in that club and in that elite level, I mean, that's not a fucking coincidence. You know what I mean? And once you're in the club, you're a pawn in their game. That is the control. And this
Same
shit
with every industry, entertainment industry as well.
So he was just basically he was a seed that was planted, and now he's coming to blossom.
Well, this
for them.
yeah, this
He's,
is
like this is where he earns. He is now earning the money he was given.
yeah,
right now.
or this is just what he's just fulfilling his role in the plan that was all along. You know,
right.
I did have a quick question for you, or maybe all you guys, real quick. Like, so you know how all those CEOs stepped down, and we were just hoping that
213.
we're all hoping that they were all just pedophiles, part of the cabal, getting arrested.
They're all in Gitmo with Helen.
Those are wishful thinking. Now, I heard though, and this is still fucked up, that all these dudes got off the board or whatever, so that they could sell their shares because they knew that this shit was going to tank. Now, no.
Bezos, 30 billion. Yeah.
That sounds like too easy to prove for insider trading. They'd lose everything.
What about those senators?
So you are confirming that they
too
are
easy to
pedophiles.
prove.
Yeah, the
that's
Georgia
kind of mentality.
senator.
Like, no, we're not going to prosecute that because, like, if the killer has the knife, walks in, is like, that's too easy to prove. Fuck that. We're not going to prosecute this. I killed this guy. Nope, too easy.
All right, thank you. I will go back to just thinking that they were all pedophiles
Confirmed.
and are arrested, and justice
Yeah,
has been
well, there's
served.
a difference. One's Congress, one's the corporate sector, which Congress hates.
Well, what the fuck is that though? What do you think happened then? Why did that happen?
What?
This mass exit of all these CEOs.
Harley Davidson, Disney,
Netflix,
30 CEOs. There's
Discover.
213.
213.
213.
I thought you said 13 before. I was
Oh,
like,
no.
that's low. 213? That's crazy.
213.
You don't know anything about this?
Well, if you go into it, you're going to find all various reasons, including some where they had no choice. They were forced out. But
But how convenient. If they were forced out or fired, isn't that still insider trading? Because they all dumped their shares, didn't they? Anybody? No? Am
I just
making
know
this
about
up now?
there was some senators that are on the hot seat for dumping.
3.
Is there?
Well, no, okay, so here's the thing, and I have not checked into this since, it's like so much other news things. It's big talk for a few days or a few weeks, depending on if they're trying to nail somebody, and then it goes away.
Can I make a point? Can I make a quick point on that, dude? I think actually with Trump's daily spiels, I think it's preventing people from digging into information, because if you're just overloading everybody with information, you can't focus on one thing. So I think having those daily things and having something else to talk about every day, some little bullshit thing like his little propaganda video and all that stuff, like that just distracts everybody from digging into the actual stuff. What do you think about that?
Well, the thing that I was going to say with that, now, and I don't know if it's true, it'd be hard, I'm sure if you look into it, you can
Hashtag
figure
don't
it
look
out.
into it.
Can I
But
read
no,
this?
what I was
Go
going
ahead.
to say was one of the things I heard, and it wasn't from anybody around here, it was from an economist in Washington, and he said the scuttlebutt going around was that all of a sudden, those were all Republicans, and the media jumped all over them, and all of a sudden the media backed off right away because apparently there were different Democrats doing the same thing, but that kind of got swept under and, leave it alone. Don't go into this. We're going to bury more heads than we want. But who knows?
So this is from zerohedge.com. Why did hundreds of CEOs resign just before the world started going absolutely crazy? In the months prior to the most ferocious stock market crash in history and the eruption of the biggest public health crisis of our generation, we witnessed the biggest exodus of corporate CEOs that we have ever seen. And as you will see below, corporate insiders also sold off billions of dollars worth of shares in their own companies just before the stock market imploded. In life, timing can be everything, and sometimes people simply get lucky, but it does seem odd that so many among the corporate elite would be so exceedingly lucky all at the same time.
That's ridiculous.
Is that fucked or what?
What's
going on
for
here?
him to even say that some people get lucky is
That was in quotes.
That was absolutely insane. Does anybody fucking get lucky like that?
No, and that's... Dude, so what the fuck? Yeah, last month 172 chief executives left their jobs. Dude, so yeah, what...
So
Boeing, United Airlines, Alphabet, Gap, McDonald's, Wells Fargo, Under Armour, PG&E, Kraft Heinz, HP, Bed Bath & Beyond, Warner Brothers, Best Buy, New York Post, Colgate, MetLife, eBay, Nike. What the fuck?
When you step down, and maybe this is a question for Tom, but do you get your, all your stock options and all that stuff? Is that paid out as you let the door hit you on the way out, or?
Well, yeah, there have been other times you've had exits like that. Because
that was all
exodus?
2019. At the end of 2019.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking about go back 30 years, and 30 plus years I've been in the business. There you have different times they leave because of something going on. What you're referencing is what they call the golden parachute. Yeah, you get stock options, things like that. I knew several guys that got those from the days when I worked with Dean Witter, which became Morgan Stanley. The top ones. But
those are golden showers, dude.
I see.
What?
He looks pleased about that. That makes me nervous too. But no, with a person, a CEO, a board of directors, somebody leaving, if they haven't done, if they're not being forced out for some reason, they didn't do something wrong, it's unbelievable the different benefits that they've got wrapped in there, stock options that they can exercise, doing things like that. And, sometimes if you see somebody selling a huge block of shares, it might be because all of a sudden they can. Mm-hmm. Stock options, you can't necessarily, they're gifted to you, but you can't exercise them until such and such date. You have to be employed and everything. So there are times that they'll dump them like that. But
you've seen an exodus of CEOs of major corporations similar to this in your history? 213 CEOs of major corporations. So you've seen something like this?
Real quick, this was so far in 2020. You got Disney, IBM, Harley Davidson, T-Mobile, LinkedIn, MasterCard.
Those are blue chip
companies. Those are
Hulu.
Those are life. Like that is life goal CEO. Like that you've reached the peak. Like. Mm-hmm. And people are stepping down. Why?
In this article, it's saying, did they see the writing on the wall that like that coronavirus is going to tank the economy? And they're like, fuck it, I'm out of here. Like,
coincidence?
That seems pretty shitty too, doesn't it?
Coincidences only exist in fucking shitty rom-coms, dude. In meet cute rom-coms. Those are not coincidences. Mm-hmm. They knew what was going on.
No, that's some dark shit. Like, so
no,
what the fuck?
I would think sprinkled in there too, you'll find there's guys that are just, I'm sick of this shit. I don't want to do this anymore.
Oh,
going into
all at the same time?
I didn't say. I said sprinkled in. That's not all at the same time.
All right, I'll give you two.
There's all different reasons.
I'll round it down to an even 200. Okay, so we had 13 guys who were like, "Fuck it, I'm done," but we still have 200 guys who've left in a pretty conspicuous
Well, what kind
situation.
of? I mean, even
I'll
what
do
I
the
just
sword.
said is still like fucked. Like, I don't know, man. This coronavirus is sure going to tank the economy. Nah, I'm out of here. Like, wow, what a leader! Like, your CEO of your company is just like, hey, good luck, everybody. I'm fucking out of here.
Yeah. Great point.
All right,
because-
let's cut to the.
Yeah.
We'll cut to the jugular.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
No,
Do it.
that means tomorrow on the conference call that I've got with the guy that I have the most faith in, economist. I'm going to ask him. Ask him what he thinks of that. So,
Ask him. You can
Do
put
it,
patch
yeah.
us in. if
Yeah,
you want.
we might have to have an emergency
Hey.
pod tomorrow.
no,
Who are
I've heard
those
you. I've heard
fucking
you talk.
idiots?
Who are you talking to, Tom? We're not talking to you anymore. You're obviously dealing with fucking drug addicts. Get out of here.
We all have like a Camelback of gin and tonic. Just like-
We're just squeezing limes into each other's fucking camelbacks.
no, they're fine. They're with the radio.
They're well, we know they're healthy. They got plenty of quinine and lime. They're good to go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. That is exciting. That's a teaser. That's a little
Yeah.
cliffhanger there. I like
All right,
that.
we'll bring that back.
Yeah, we might have to have an emergency pod tomorrow, and I'm not mad about it.
Oh, we can do that.
Yeah.
Potty time.
Yeah. So another big, this is gonna really switch gears on us, but another big drop in the world of truthers was a
Going Out
YouTube
of
video,
Shadows?
Out of Shadows. Out of Shadows.
Yeah. Also gaining traction, man. That's probably up like 4 million
Oh,
views
yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, big views, man. And I fucking loved it. I mean, I don't love the content.
I don't like how
Come on.
they didn't give Jay Dyer credit on the first 30 minutes of it.
Dude,
but
Jay Dyer called it out in his
yes,
last, in one of his
I'm
last.
actually pissed off about that.
Yeah.
So Jay Dyer's
how-
documentary, Out of Shadows.
Well, well, here's the thing though. Jay Dyer needs to come down to all of our other levels. He's speaking on a fucking level way above. Like, dude, this dude's crazy smart, reads a ton. Like, he needs to come down a little bit because he was talking about this shit, and I didn't even like know what he was talking about. And then all of a sudden, like, I was like, I saw Out of Shadows, and I was like, oh, Jay Dyer was talking about
Well,
that.
hasn't he
Yeah.
written like 2 books on Esoteric Hollywood? Isn't
That's
that
a
like his
series,
whole
like
thing?
a
Yeah.
YouTube
Yeah,
series.
but he's like, but he goes so far off on a bunch of different.
the Druids, the Hollywood,
Dude,
all
he's
that.
he has
occultic.
weird. So, but anyway, okay. So Jay Dyer, he's super smart. We love you. Thank you for listening. Thank
So
you for
he's
subscribing.
Yeah, he's the deep dive. This is kind of to dip a toe and watch
This
Out
is.
of Shadows.
This is something that you can share on Facebook
I
and
threw
feel
it on
comfortable.
I threw it on our Facebook page. So if
Yeah, and I gave it a
anybody's-
share. I gave it a share as well.
Yeah.
But this is something you can share on Facebook and feel comfortable sharing. But it also does scratch the surface, draws a little blood. Evan, what do you think? After watching it? What do you think about it?
Watched it with the wife. She's dabbling in this stuff.
Right on. Love to hear it.
I loved it. I mean, it's like you said, it scratches the surface. It kind of gives you like a non-crazy entry level, like, hey, here's what's going on in Hollywood, from somebody that seems totally legit, who I think is legit.
Well,
And
he did spend like a good 10 minutes
Yeah.
where me and Jax were talking about that. Just like, you know,
Beefing
he's
himself
going
up.
kind of on and on about what. But I'm giving this guy the benefit of the doubt that the reason he was doing that is just so you're like, you know, like this dude's been around.
He's
you
building
know,
some
like-
credibility.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Because
because
then he
that-
kind of checks out when he throws it over
Right,
to Liz.
Right.
What's her
Because
name?
for the first 10 minutes, you definitely do think it's a stuntman reel for him to just
Yeah.
show how many movies he's been
and
in.
it's
I've
such
done
a,
a
like,
bunch of cool shit.
it's such an intriguing storyline for like an everyday person because he's like a stuntman in Hollywood and he's been around all those celebrities. So I think it was a great way to like introduce all that information to everyone.
So
Like,
what was
anyone that watches it?
what was your biggest takeaway from it? Do you think? Because
I just love how they dabble in every single subject just a little, just so
Yeah.
everyone like knows what they need to know.
I thought one of the craziest things was this stuntman, the main guy, he injured his one of his vertebra, and he was doing this rehab, and his specialist or whatever said, "I want to pray for you," and he thought it was crazy, and she did it a couple of times, and then he said like, what is going on here? And he kind of got in, he had heard some things about some weird satanic stuff going on, and she said, you know what, listen, I'm the only like pelvic
pelvic
like,
floor specialist.
Yeah, pelvic floor specialist
That
in the
dude
world.
was-
Where do you think the people go that need to get rebuilt from these satanic?
Man, that was the one.
That
thing-
was that cut deep to
I
me.
wanted
like,
them to go keep talking to her.
Yeah,
Like
they only touched on her and they wouldn't show her face.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
didn't want anything to do it. Well, she did. But
She-
that dude was probably
she-
thinking like, man, if I had $1 for every time some chick has to pray for my penis.
No, yeah, she was like,
You just try to get to my pelvis, girl.
I see all these celebrities walk in and they just have so much dark energy surrounding
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, she's like, I want to pray for you. Yeah.
Well, me and Jackson were talking about this. It's like from when Chris was on a couple weeks ago. It's like everything that Chris didn't and wouldn't talk to us about, because I mean, whatever.
it
like,
was literally everything.
and it made me feel like an asshole for even bringing it up. This documentary
They-
goes right in.
You know,
there.
actually,
could
what-
insert that right into that part of the
what
podcast.
I think they did was they took the questions that we asked Chris and then answered them in this, and then made a
Yes.
documentary out of it.
Yeah, you're
Because
barking up the wrong tree.
I actually we gotta get Chris back on. First of all, we gotta text him. We gotta send him the video because
Watch
apparently he's in Hollywood and he doesn't watch anything from Hollywood. Love you. Shouts out. Dark Arrows. Get at it. But we need to have him watch the video and then get him back on to get his thoughts on it.
A lot of great feedback on that episode too.
Yeah.
A lot of positivity.
We love the positivity of it, but we got to get back to the negativity of
Yeah,
it.
come on.
because That's
Come on,
where we're
Chris.
at. That's where we're at.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. So I thought, and then that the lady towards the end that she was like she interned at the White House for a while, and then
Yeah,
she started
Liz
doing the
Fox
pizza-
News.
What's her
Liz,
name?
Cronkin
Conklin?
or I don't know.
Crokin.
Crokin.
Yeah, she started off at the White House and then she went to Fox News, I believe.
Fox News, and then
Uh-huh.
did her own. She had her own
Yeah, her
article for like
own.
7 years, and
Yeah, she
Remember
was.
she blew the door on the Pizzagate thing,
And that's when
Yeah.
people started thinking she was crazy, because she kind of gave that big like quick lead up too. Is like, this was my career. This is where I went to school. I was highly respected. I was doing all this. Then I was working in entertainment for a while. Then I got back into politics, and I had nothing but I had great relationships with everybody. I was working at the White House. Everybody, I was
Well
on-
respected.
Yeah,
Yep.
super well respected. She seemed awesome. She said the second she started reporting on Pizzagate, everybody turned their back on her.
Because remember
And
the
then
gunman, he came in there with a gun and shot.
yeah, and fired one shot and it
Fired
hit the
one
server,
shot.
and it hit the one shot, quote unquote, into the floor that actually hit the server at Besta Pizza.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Like, yeah, it hit the computer. The one bullet hit the computer,
Mm-hmm.
and it destroyed the computer.
Dude.
Like
How about them calling?
and the floor was actually into the
So,
computer.
and real quick, anybody who's thinking like, anybody who's listening to this that might be rolling their eyes that we're talking about Pizzagate or whatever, you just need to spend an hour and watch this fucking documentary.
yeah,
This is all verified shit. Again, you're being told this is a conspiracy, because that is also the this whole documentary is framed. I don't know, we glossed over this, that it's just how the media and the illusion of choice and how few companies actually own
6.
and control the entire
yeah.
message.
They go into
And this-
Operation Mockingbird
Yeah,
real well.
Operation Mockingbird. Look into it. Fucking just look it up.
and they're
Like,
telling people it's illegal to look at the Pizzagate files.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
dude, they get into
Yeah, when they
Unless you're the media.
yeah,
They're-
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that was Andrew Cuomo.
Yeah, yeah.
That was it, or Chris Cuomo. Chris Cuomo was saying, I can't fucking pick out which Bison I'm fucking looking at, but yeah, he's saying like, now remember, it's illegal to look into these emails, talking about the Hillary emails, the WikiLeaks emails. It's illegal to look at these emails unless you're looking at the emails that we show you
Yeah.
as a news.
Mhm. It's basically.
dude, it's I don't know. It was
And it's about how every single entertainment, like news, I don't know, anywhere around the world, they say the same like one-liners.
Oh, it's all scripted.
all
Yeah, it's
scripted.
all a script handed out to everybody. That there is a mass message that there is the control. So that's why, watching the this Bill Gates Ellen interview, that people aren't buying the bullshit anymore. People are starting to question the narrative, which is what we all need to be doing. And I'm just so sick of this blind allegiance to the mainstream media, when we all have the power to research through independent channels. There's so many independent journalists out there that are doing the Lord's work.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
I got a great story for you. So I already told you today about my little visit with my parents. I picked up a rototiller, so I didn't buy a rototiller. I picked it up from my parents. Okay.
Stole
but
it.
I'm gonna buy a nice one at some point. You know, I got to keep that ground. They say to I forget what the word is, but anyway. So I was
Aerate that ground.
not aerate.
But-
There was a different word. Anyway,
Buy some nitrogen. Do it right. Be like a farmer.
I'm gonna get some play sand, some manure, and some peat moss. That's what I'm gonna use. That's gonna be my thing.
Nice.
But so I was talking to my parents, and you know, I get in there, and they work from home, and I went upstairs, and CNN was on the TV upstairs. I go downstairs to grab a beer, of course, because I'm not gonna walk out of there without having a beer. And I go downstairs, and CNN's on the TV downstairs. So I walk back upstairs, and I go, "Oh my God, you guys, CNN on every TV in the house? What the hell?" And my dad looks at me, and he goes, "Oh, what are you, one of those Fox guys?" And I go, "No, I don't watch Fox." He's like, "Oh, what do you watch, those internet crazies?" And I was like, "You know what? In fact,
He said,
I
"Hey,
do."
pal,
Yeah.
I am one of those
I am
internet
one of those
crazies."
guys at How to Play Podcast. I was like, "You know what, Dad? No, I watch independent journalists on a media that they can control." And he hated it. He hated it. He also said it, so I'm gonna put him on blast. My mom listens to every episode. Love you, Mom. Mwah. But I'm also gonna put you guys on blast. When I asked my dad, we're in a little bit of a political convo, and I said, "Well, you're not gonna vote for Biden, are you?" And he goes, "I'd vote for him twice if I could." And I just like,
Sounds like voter fraud.
yeah.
Snitch him out. What's he planning to do?
I right then and there I was like, okay, I'm gonna be more of a listener than a talker in this conversation. So
We really haven't gotten together since. If we want to shift the conversation, we can still go on. Keep
No,
going on Outer Shadows.
yeah,
but,
I want to go on our shows. I was just kind of that was my point on the media.
Yeah, I was just gonna
talking about
say
CNN.
Yeah.
And they talk about because they show that thing where they showed everybody talking about this is a threat to our democracy.
Oh yeah.
And they literally showed like 1,000 different news
Wait,
medias saying this is
real
a threat
quick,
to our democracy.
Can we do that? Can we try that? I'll go. You go. You go. You.
Yeah, go.
This is a threat to our democracy.
This is a threat to our democracy.
This is a threat to our democracy.
What happened?
This is a threat to our democracy.
This is a threat to our democracy.
All right. Yeah.
That's an actual video snippet.
Evan needed a second take on that.
This is a threat to our democracy.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was the gin talking on that person.
Too much quinine. This
This
guy's
democracy is threatening us big time.
Yeah. Guy's having a quinine overload.
Turns out quinine is also hallucinogen. This is all an MK Ultra. Quinine turns out is actually microdosing LSD.
That's got to be it.
That's
Damn
what I'm
it.
talking
Here we
about.
go. MK Ultra.
Yeah.
Now we're going
Which they
back.
talk about in Outer Shadows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude. They dabbled in the whole Jim Morrison and all that.
Oh, yeah.
that's-
No, they go into Laurel Canyon.
Dude, they dabble, like they dip their toe in like
Dude.
everything, but they don't give you the meat. Like
It's a tinfoil buffet.
So I
It is.
started watching I think it was called The Steel Truth. It was a podcast that Liz and then the two stuntmen were on with this other lady's podcast. Like I don't know if it's a podcast, whatever. It's a suggested video after this one, and I didn't listen to the whole thing, but he kind of goes in talking about that, how that was his intention, is to like give just like kind of throw this all out there, like, hey, this is what I know.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to go too nuts because you don't want to scare anybody away. And he's
Right,
like, he even
exactly.
says like, I just started getting into this shit like 2015, 2016, which is nuts because he was in it. He lived in that world, you know what I mean? And that's what I thought was crazy too. Talk about like a takeaway for me is that
this guy basically played Brad Pitt's role in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
right, yeah,
sweet.
yeah.
But
So he
it's-
was like deep in all this, and he's like, it wasn't until I had like this time off because of my injury that I started like hearing these different things. Oh my god, that was gross.
Because that
then-
lady,
and
that
then-
lady even said like this guy's an asshole. That's the reason she was praying for her. His therapist.
Oh,
was
yeah.
because this guy's just a huge asshole caring about money all the time.
And then it just kind of made him like really the first time he actually had it, because he's like, I just went to work every day. He's like, I was busy, you know, I was successful, I was living the dream, you know. It wasn't until I had this break, because he was literally like temporarily paralyzed or whatever, you know. He's like, I had this time to like kind of sit on my ass, and then I'm watching these videos, and then I'm reading and I'm learning, and then I'm starting to like think back on like things I've heard or things that I've seen, you know. It's like, so I mean, it's just nuts. This is the kind of guy that he feels okay talking about this. He reaches out to Liz, who reported on Pizzagate. She goes off, and it's easy. It's a great whatever. It's just it's
Kickstarter.
It's super. Yeah, it's a super well put together documentary that
Right. Yeah.
it's not hard to believe, and just the way they did it. They're not trying to scare anybody away or anything like
Right.
that. You could.
They
these
don't
are just
go in. They
honest
don't go
people
into.
trying to get the
They don't
word
go
out.
into adrenochrome. They don't go into
No.
like crazy stuff because that's where
Because
you
they're
lose-
just giving you
lose
facts.
people. Yeah, you lose people at like when you start to talk about the real deal stuff.
And everything they talk about is
Yeah,
verified truth.
Yeah, they talk about the emails. They show the FBI, like the phrases that the FBI has confirmed are pedophile phrases that are all over. Like James Podesta saying he would love to have an hour of pizza. Has anybody?
Right.
Have you ever
Or
talked to
Barack
your
Obama
friend?
ordering $60,000 worth
Right.
of hot
Got a
dogs.
And then-
power hour of pizza going
Yeah,
on.
we're gonna have a pizza power hour of one pepperoni every minute for 60 minutes. Get fucked. But yeah, and then him saying when he said Obama, he saw what Obama was having. He was asking if they're using the same channels. Like, but I think this was great because, you know, a lot of people say like, oh, why wouldn't people blow the whistle on this? And you know, and we always say like, not only when you got like the kind of blackmail type of stuff going on, but you're also kind of, if you had a money train coming in of, I don't know, $30 million a year, are you going to be that guy in that meme, or are you going to put the fucking the stick in the spokes of your own tire? Because this guy didn't speak up until his money train was done. You know, I'm not going to call these guys heroes, because this guy wouldn't have said shit until he fucking lost his way. Because he even said it. He said, you know, as a stuntman, you can break your leg, you can break your arm, you can do whatever, but the lower back injury is what's going to fuck you. And he got a lower back injury. And it wasn't until he got that lower back injury that he came to Jesus, because he saw his career ending. Because he went from a stuntman.
He was pretty open about that. He
Yeah.
was like, I was kind of scared shitless. He's
Right,
like, when I
because
started looking at all like the dark arts and shit that are going on, like, why wouldn't I think like that's for real? So why wouldn't I think the good shit's for real too? And then he said, he's like, I got scared. He's like, I started getting fucking
Well, he
scared.
saw his money
The
train.
other
He saw his
dude-
money
Yeah,
train leaving. Like he saw because he wasn't noticing. He wasn't taking the time to notice the other shit. He saw his money train leaving.
Well, the other dude kind of said a similar thing. Well, he had different motives, but he was saying, he's like, you know, I have kids. Like, I've been doing this, and I've been having a great time doing this. I love what I do, but you know, I start realizing like all these movies that I'm a part of, because he was getting into directing stunts and all that kind of shit too.
Yeah, both of them were.
Yeah, and he's like, he's like, I don't believe in this message. Like, this isn't doing any good for anybody. And then he starts talking about like Disney movies and shit, and like, why is every fucking Disney movie have a deal with a dead parent? Or is it just goddamn trauma? But
Hidden pervertic symbols and everything.
Right.
Dicks
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah,
so many
dicks and death.
Dixney.
Dicks and yeah, it's basically Dixney Daphne. Like, dude, it's fucked. And he was right, because, and they said like they made that, like they said like once you basically perverse that child, now their skews of right and wrong aren't normal anymore. They've already been exposed to it. Because dude, I still to this day don't want to watch when they were gonna show like Bambi's mom dying. I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, this sucks,
Yeah.
man.
PTSD, man.
Dude, it's real.
Dude, Fox and the Hound, I still get choked up.
Oh man, I've never even watched that movie.
Me and you were talking about like Onward and all that, like witchcraft and all these too. Like,
dude, Onward was 1,000.
Oh.
And guess what? It made it to Disney Plus real fucking quick.
resurrecting past
quick.
spirits. Like,
Yeah, it's dealing with a half-dead dad. The entire
a
Yeah.
half
The
literal
entire
half
time.
dead.
I am not shy to say that is Anders' favorite movie right now, and we've watched it literally every day.
How about the dude wearing the Q shirt the entire time?
Oh yeah, they called on that. There was
And
a
then
couple of pods
And
calling
then
on
you
that.
see this guy like Hydra and it's like,
I didn't
like
see
all
that-
this demonic shit.
I didn't see that, but they said that Chris Pratt was like right after Q started posting, he changed his Twitter profile to him taking a sip of a coffee mug with the DOJ logo on it. Like they're saying like Chris Pratt's kind of a white hat, but whatever. I don't think that movie has anything to do with it.
Yeah,
But
I don't know. Yeah, I guess we don't have to like get in and dissect every part of this
Yeah.
documentary, but still, it's just.
Yep.
I think we're all just trying to tell each other that we thought it was pretty fucking good.
it's a great It was a great fucking documentary. You need to watch it.
Yeah, well done. I mean, that was the other thing. It was like it was like there had to be some money behind that because it was like a legit documentary.
Highly
Like,
produced. Yeah.
I mean,
Really great.
it was entertaining.
Well, they're producers.
Yeah,
they're
like,
like
it was.
directors. Like that's
Mhm.
I'm surprised
True.
they didn't throw in
Right.
like a stunt at the end. Something they just did their own stunt like for something at the
That'd
end.
been
Like
awesome.
they did something like just like blew up a car at the end.
Yeah.
They were in.
Oh, but it was like Fall of the Cabal. Like got into some deep
That was
stuff, but it was kind of like
Deep.
like it was just somebody like in their basement, like throwing
Right.
it together. Like it was
Right.
legit
Throwing together a
information, but it
slideshow,
was
yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
yeah. I would
Out of
say
Shadows was like entertaining. I mean,
I
Yeah,
would
two
say-
different kind of two sides to it.
Yeah.
both.
She's more
great.
promoting Q, while
yeah, she's definitely
Yeah.
a Q. I would say like if you want to watch like I would say Out of Shadows and then Fall of Cabal
Mhm.
after that. Like
Yeah.
gotta do Out of Shadows first because that'll ease you into it. Big
Tom Kluge's
Got it.
watching Out of Shadows right now.
that's right.
He's
Yeah,
taking
we got
it
the
in.
Yeah,
we got
I agree.
the closed caption going now.
Yeah, I was checking that out. I've not seen this. Although I did see the movie they were just talking about, The Interview.
Oh yeah, the James Franco. Yeah,
how
that-
they tried to say it was the China that hacked.
Yep.
And-
Yep. Yeah, China hacked Sony
Yeah.
to get back at us for Sony for making that movie.
That's what we all, dude. That's what I thought. That's what everybody.
Ooh,
everybody-
actually, Tom, you actually get a kick out of this. There is a part in here where they talk about James Bond and who is the guy that wrote?
Wrote it?
Yeah,
Ian Fleming.
Ian Fleming. Yeah, there's a Ian Fleming section. in
Oh
here.
yeah,
Oh, really?
basically
Yeah.
not life imitates art. Basically saying that dude was writing about intel that he legit got from fucking British intelligence and the CIA.
And now they're trying to make movies like how to make like CIA look the coolest people ever.
Yeah, and right. They do go on to say like there's also dude, the CIA is gigantic. Hollywood is fucking gigantic. It's not all one like we're not sitting here saying like everybody in Hollywood is bad.
Yeah, he says that towards the end of the documentary.
Yeah,
like, not
or even
everyone's
everybody
bad,
in the
there's good
CIA.
people.
You have good people and bad people. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
but most of them are satanic pedophiles. So I mean, that's just
Yeah, they
Essentially
made the
over.
callback to. He said one of the awakenings for him was Zoolander. No, because that was like full on MK Ultra. They convinced Derek Zoolander to kill the prime minister of Malaysia or whatever.
dude.
you know,
How about Will Ferrell coming up? Yeah, Will Ferrell was in Zoolander. Will Ferrell though I think that came up in Fall of the Cabal too. Like Will Ferrell's picture at one of those like spirit cooking dinners and shit.
yeah,
like,
he was in that.
Come on, Will, what you doing, man?
Yeah, that's the one bad thing about this is that you will lose if you believe in this stuff. You will lose some idols. Like
They talk about like Lady Gaga, and they go deep into Lady Gaga and that one girl that promoted Microsoft. Who is she?
What is her
oh,
name?
Maria Abramovich.
Abramovich.
Oh yeah, the
Abramovich,
spirit cooker.
yes.
Yeah,
Like, she is pure fucking evil.
Witch. She's an
man.
actual witch.
And-
Dude, that
yeah, it was
Microsoft
just in a-
commercial.
yeah, which just got taken down and like erased from everything. Did you see that shit?
This
yeah,
guy-
they took it down. Yeah,
Was she in it?
yes, she was.
Yeah,
she was full in
She
it.
like made it.
Yep.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was. Yeah,
But basically, yeah, watch. We're basically just saying now, just it's a must watch for sure.
Yeah.
And I think to grasp the full concept, you just need to watch it. I think.
Yeah, here's where they start talking about the companies being controlled. Like you got all the companies that are controlled by basically like 6 companies.
Jackson, could you screenshot this and put it on our Instagram? You can do it later.
Oh yeah.
This section that we're talking about. Maybe.
Okay.
Want me to get that map back
up?
up?
The map.
No. Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
That might be a good thing to throw on the gram. Just a little clip to shout out the documentary here.
We can make a post.
You don't have to do it right now.
Like
yeah.
No, we'll get it. Yeah, we'll.
About
we'll
30,
get a good
34 minutes in.
I could probably just screenshot it at what time.
He just said.
Yeah, 34 minutes.
34 minutes.
But yeah, that's what they show the basically the timeline of how media started to advance, and then because this comes back to talking about Operation Mockingbird and how media advanced, and then their methods of basically social mind control advanced at the same time.
Yeah, Operation Paperclip, how they basically the Nazis rebranded themselves and used all their MK Ultra, all that, files and brought them over here.
That whole not even to do with this documentary, but that whole Operation Paperclip thing, it's like, you brought them over. They had their little draft, and they hand selected the Nazis that they wanted, bring them over,
and then adjusted they adjusted their Nazi records.
Oh yeah, erased their files.
They erased their records to say that they weren't doing the things like fucking von Braun. Like, dude, von Braun was working as a scientist at one of the deadliest camps there was, and they erased the records to make it look like they were non-essential fucking Nazi scientists.
Right.
And all the trials ran, they just deleted them. They deleted the files.
Yeah. So let to bring this into perspective, World War II, Nazi Germany, 6 million Jews died. 13 people were found guilty and hanged. 13 Nazi soldiers and generals, not even generals, they didn't even go that high, were found guilty and hanged in the Nuremberg trials. 13 people. Yeah.
13,000.
13.0. 13.
That's great. I didn't know that, dude. That's nuts.
13 people were found guilty and hanged in the Nuremberg trials.
Holy shit, dude.
That is it. Dude,
So,
they brought over 100 Nazis. Yeah, that's the one. They brought over I don't even know what the numbers was for how many, but they brought over 100 people, 100 Nazi scientists over. Just so there were 10 times the amount of Nazi scientists brought over than that were hanged for crimes against humanity.
So anyone that was useful got brought over, and just the pawns just.
Oh, there was definitely
sacrifice these 13, and
I guarantee those dudes that were killed were probably pressing the button on the gas chamber at best.
Well, none of this stuff gets talked about. You can't talk about Germany after World War II, or at least in my high school education, I didn't learn anything about it. But also, it's okay, you took them down, but then you still have an entire nation of people that were full on Nazis that are just
yeah,
just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, you have to remember with the Nuremberg trials, they had this second in command, Hermann Goering. It's just that he had poison smuggled in, so before they could hang him, he killed himself. And then guys like Albert Speer, who great book, by the way, Inside the Third Reich. But he was the armaments minister and stuff like that. He and some other high-ranking ones. There were some high-ranking ones.
Were there?
Most of them wound up getting jail terms. Speer, I think, got 20 years or something like that.
20 years?
Yeah. He didn't do
some weed.
Yeah, he wasn't do. He was in charge of the armaments. He was the armaments minister. So, that was his crime, supplying the troops and that sort of thing.
Dude, that's
weak. That's like a drug
20
charge.
years. Yeah, that is. That I get man, there are people in jail for longer for having possession and sales of marijuana. Spent more jail time than those fuckers.
Oh yeah.
Have you guys watched that show on Prime, the one with Al Pacino, where the Jewish people
Hunters?
Hunters.
I have not.
I have not either.
Only
It's-
been watching Top Chef.
It's
and
entertaining.
Outer Shadows.
It's entertaining, but it's pure propaganda. They talk about. It's cool because they talk about the paperclip.
I can't even get into shit. Yeah, that's
They-
exactly what I thought.
It's all about It's all about paperclip, but it is pure propaganda. And it's I watched it because the entertainment value is there, and it's just kind of fun. But I didn't really like the message that was there.
It's a bummer, man. It's like,
Yeah.
but dude, it doesn't get more Hollywood elite than Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. You know?
Yeah, just Pacino was in this one.
Right.
Just-
but I'm just saying, like,
Right? Yeah, they are. They're
all of our heroes are just getting smashed. And
Spielberg.
yeah, dude, Spielberg,
Scorsese,
Tom
Scorsese.
Hanks.
Dude, Spielberg's a big.
But
hero,
that's
man.
okay. Now I am okay. We are gonna dissect every part of this fucking video, but
I
but
don't even think
it
they
goes.
talk about Spielberg in this. They
No,
don't talk about Spielberg.
but Tom Hanks and Ellen, dude. I'm
Oh,
just
yeah,
talking
Sammy
about
Davis.
how they're saying like, why are you forced into this weird club and this weird shit when you reach a certain level? Is because you can't be as gigantic as a Tom Hanks or an Ellen without being compromised because you're too powerful. You can't have 100 million followers on Instagram and be completely independent and you know, have an opinion. No.
Yeah, they
there's no
mentioned that.
fucking way. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The point of Mockingbird
Right.
was
And I'm saying that relates to like Ellen and that whole fucking thing
Right.
that we were watching earlier, which just to hammer that point home,
truth.
that's why it was very refreshing to see Ellen just getting picked apart in the comments of her own video of just like, you fucking sold out, Ellen. Like, what the hell's going on? Not that Ellen didn't sell out. But I'm just saying, it's just like people aren't buying the bullshit, you know, like people, dude, the outrage that I've been calling for, you know, it's like, there's something fucking weird going on here. Dad, would you go ahead and just like give your take on what the fuck you really think is going on right now? What is happening right now? Are you scared of this virus? You are a man of 65 years of age. With you are at risk.
Subject.
You check all the boxes for a guy who should be self-quarantined.
Am I worried? No. I said that 4 weeks ago or whenever you said I was last on with you. It's over. Well, you know, I've been saying this to the wrong people sometimes. I've had people get in my face that are fanatic about it, but the numbers aren't going to stack up.
And by
to
in
the
your face, you mean
fear-mongering.
at a distance of 6 feet or more.
Just saying they're pissed off.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
But no, I said in the beginning, you know, that you know, the number of deaths and things like it's going to. There was somebody in the business world too, some analyst or economist had said that this was going to, when it was all over and done with, be like a bad flu season, you know, for the total number. And you know what, we were supposed to have 2.2 million deaths or something like that. That's never going to happen. We're nowhere near that. The state of Wisconsin was saying we were going to have 200 or 225,000 deaths or something. That's not nowhere near it, and it's peaking.
It's almost like they're bummed out about that too.
Well, I think the other thing that I remember is there was some noted physician who stated that when this is all over and done with, that, you know, almost everybody's been tested, they're going to find that there's a lot of people that had the virus, got over it, and never knew they had it in the first place. So it's varying degrees and stuff. They talk about, you know, they like to utilize New York as the hot spot, you know, and all these deaths. Well, when they went into it, it's like close to 80% of all the deaths were people who had serious health issues prior to the virus coming around. Well, of course, you're going to have a higher death rate.
And it's already been admitted, and this is also not bullshit. Any death is. I think I heard this on Useful Idiots or Propaganda Report that like any death is a corona death. Right
Yeah,
now.
that's Dr. Burke's trying to get their numbers up.
Due to complications of COVID-19.
Well, here's a little tidbit
We're
for
definitely
you.
not saying that people aren't dying from this.
Now we're back on COVID-19. Yes, COVID-19 is real. It is a bioweapon, but it is real, and it is killing people. That's 100%. People are dying from COVID-19. Don't fucking get that wrong. All right? But it is a bioweapon. And it originated in China. But
It has to be man-made. It is man-made.
it's man-made.
Sure.
It is man-made because the receptors latch on just like the SARS receptors did. And there's no way that they could have gotten that from animals. Okay, so there's they call it the S protein or S receptor. I don't know. I'm not a fucking doctor.
I've
But
heard of that.
But they consider that it's basically the key to the lock that is getting in the system. And that S protein opens up the receptor to get into the system. Anyways, what I wanted to get into was that when a hospital tests somebody for COVID-19 and they come back and they are found to be not, they don't have, I almost wanted to say not guilty of COVID-19. I almost said not guilty of COVID-19 because that's where we're at right now. They were found to be, they didn't have COVID-19. That hospital receives from Medicare $3,400. Okay?
If they are
$3,400.
not.
If they are found that they do not have COVID-19, the hospital receives $3,400.
For a normal pneumonia, I think that's what you're going with, right? I think I've heard the same numbers.
Okay,
So like pneumonia, yeah, it's like 30. It's like around $4,000, let's say.
right. Okay. So then, if they're found that they do have COVID-19, that hospital then receives $17,000.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Go ahead.
And then, if they put said COVID-19 victim on a respirator, that hospital then receives $34,000.
And also, if you're put on one of those ventilators, that is a death sentence.
Death sentence. Yes.
That's what's killing these people.
Please listen to
Getting
the proper report.
Brad Brinkley coming with the truth.
Yes, it is like when you are put on a ventilator. That is your lungs are a muscle. Your lungs are an organ, but it's no different than if you use or you don't use a muscle. It either gets stronger or it gets weaker. And when you're put on a ventilator, you stop using your lungs, and they get weaker. So basically, when you're put on a ventilator, your chances of getting off that ventilator dwindle daily.
Yeah. Just ask the old biceps since they shut down the YMCA.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. That's what I'm talking about, man, dude.
Still charging people.
Man.
Weaker.
Dude. I feel terrible. What were you saying, Jackson? What
Are
did you
they
say?
still charging you?
I don't know. It's a weird thing.
Because I heard
weird
Planet
thing. They said there's a
Fitness
chance
We got billed.
you could either get it back. You could. So this is what they did. You could request it back, or you could let them have it as a donation.
Yeah, they'd
But
accept your donation.
the one that's easiest is to just say fuck it. I'll let them have the donation, but you have to request to get it back.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Where you have to take that little extra step to get your money back.
Oh,
but
dude.
if you don't do anything, then it's a nice little donation. You know?
Right.
So I gotta throw this in there too, because I actually did look into this, and not that we're in dire straits by any means, but me and my wife are both, like, our household is now on a part-time income, unless of course Jackson, you start chipping in here. Might be 2 part-time
Well,
incomes.
dude, he says he's got 20% returns on his.
Yeah, that's
fuck,
true.
man.
Yeah. But anyways,
Sorry, what are you talking
the mortgage company, these mortgage companies and banks are offering to defer your
Mortgages and shit.
but you could do it for either 3 or 6 months. And we were gonna say, fuck it, we'll do it for 3 months. But then at month number 4, everything's due at once.
Are you serious?
Yeah, yes. How the fuck is that helping anybody?
Yeah, that's.
How is that helping? Like, I've been out of work for 3 months, and now all of a sudden, like,
I heard about
time
the
to pay
mortgage.
the fiddler whore. Like, what's going on?
I heard about the mortgage deferments and that they weren't like it wasn't just going to be a free 3 months.
No,
But they're basically
I
they're
thought
saying
they were
it's
gonna-
all going to come due at the end of 3 months.
yes, or you can set up a payment plan at that 3 months to
That's
still give you
that's
extra
fucked.
money. I thought it was gonna be like, because this is a fucking pandemic and this is just an insane situation right now, that they'd go ahead and just extend your 30-year mortgage to 30 years and 3 months.
So what you're saying is we're basically going to get into a debt slave society. that you're going to be working not to make money. You're going to be working only to pay your debts.
They want you in debt.
Yeah, this is
yeah.
a debt slave
Yeah,
society.
you
I mean,
can
we're already
talk
there.
about
We're already
that.
pretty much there. But
Yeah.
That is dirty. I didn't know that.
No, and I will never move off of Davies, but now would probably be the time to like sell your house.
Yeah.
I might buy.
Make some
I might
cash.
buy. Hey, how
Yeah.
is
Move
there
into
anything?
Evan's basement.
Is there anything available on Davies? I might
Dude,
move
on
to
the,
Davies.
on the
dog.
lake.
Yeah, is
Dude,
one of those
that
available?
deal fell through, man. It's available.
5:30.
Yeah, on the
Ooh,
water
that's a
though,
little
man.
too-
It's steep,
ooh,
but
that's
it's
a little too rich for my
she's
blood,
nice.
man.
Jump on it before one of
Oh,
our
has
listeners
he?
does.
It's like a 3-bedroom.
Topsy's bodies.
I don't know if that would work.
Yeah. all right. Yeah. You can do with that.
Yeah.
Fuck.
No, the whole like I didn't know about the loan deferment
It's fucked.
thing, but I
Yeah.
applied for like the CARES Act or whatever for my business just on a whim. Like, hey, whatever, if you're gonna grant me $10,000 to just because you're doing that for everybody else, I might as well apply.
Yeah, this thing I was
And
talking about.
I'm torn.
So I
on this.
applied, and like it wasn't that difficult, but I'm not anticipating getting anything for this. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, what are the strings that are going to be attached to this? Like next year when I file my taxes, like I mean, this is going to come due, right? Like
That's
correct.
Nothing's
The
free,
social
right?
credit score.
Yeah, dude, that's exactly where I'm at on the unemployment thing. It's like I can handle just like shutting this thing down for a month and a half, no problem. 2 months, 3 months. It's gonna get a little annoying. It's already very frustrating to have like a successful business that just got chopped. But hey, I'm playing ball because I understand this is serious shit. I got it. I'm not asking for a handout. I don't want to apply. Being self-employed, now they're opening it up like you can collect unemployment being self-employed. I don't want to jump through those hoops. I don't want to deal with this shit. I would rather just eat it and get back to work.
Right.
I'm not looking for a fucking handout. And at first I was like, well, and I'm not knocking anybody who is taking advantage of anything. Like, you absolutely should. I'm just saying for myself, because I do have a low overhead with what I do. Is it really worth it? You know what I mean? Like, I'll be fine if I can get back to work May 1st. But
Right.
it seems like that's still up in the air too. And all I'm saying is like, I am thankful that I have my, part-time job for a company that doesn't give a shit about its employees. But
and the insurance that comes with it.
well, yeah, of course. So like, we're okay and I'll figure it out. But also what's frustrating is that I'm seeing now hiring signs everywhere.
Oh yeah.
I could apply at the Delafield Parks Department. I could, get hired at or
that'd be a
try to get a
dope
job at
job.
Quick Trip or Home
Parks
Depot.
Department.
All these places are hiring. I can't run my own business, but I can go get a job somewhere else. Or
Yeah.
shit. Or I lost my fucking train of thought.
Well,
Anyways, I
where
was
you're
just
where you're
saying,
going
like,
there was a guy, Mark Blythe, that was on Jimmy Dore not that long ago, and yesterday actually, and he was saying that basically the American economy was built as such that it's a debt-based economy all the way up to our treasury, and it's like if you look at like government like Sweden that didn't shut down, they got I'm not a proponent of UBI, but they had more of a socialist outlook on things. And they can shut down for a little bit. And they're basically like a Volvo. Like a Volvo. It's not a great car. I mean, it's a good car. It's solid. It's got a lot of airbags. And if you crash, you're going to walk away from it. But America is basically built like a fucking 67 fastback Mustang, man. That thing was built to fucking go and fucking go fast. And it's not meant to fucking stop at a moment's
ride
notice.
that bitch right up into the rocks, baby.
Right. It's not meant to fucking stop at a moment's notice, And here we are, halting the economy like a fucking brick wall, and we're fucking dying, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
Dude,
it's just like we weren't built. The U.S. economy isn't built to fucking halt.
No, well, but what happened is, because like everybody that's out of work right now, I would say probably most of them were all killing it. Like everybody's doing good.
Yeah.
Like the restaurants were packed. People are spending money. Like it's just like dead stop. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, like I just had to stop, and that's fine. Like I have no problem. I'm not. I said this in the last episode. Like I'm not bitching about like, well, where are we supposed to get our tattoos? Like, who gives a shit about tattoos? But that's exactly my point.
Hey, business
who
is gonna be-
gives a shit?
Business is gonna be booming when Bill Gates gets his quarantine or his fucking vaccine
I'll be giving
tattoos
those
going.
ID 2020 tattoos.
Dude, I want to give you a physiological, psychological, whatever question here. You know, steal a loaf of bread to feed your family. Would you, if they gave you the right amount of money, tattoo people who got their vaccines?
Fuck yeah, those would be the dopest ID 2020 tattoos you ever seen.
I mean, somebody's got to do it.
Yeah,
If it ain't you, it's somebody else, right? And we wonder why we're in the mess we're in.
They'd be like,
Yeah.
Dustin, what the fuck? You got that tattoo? Well, yeah, but John did it.
It's dope,
pretty
right?
dope,
It's
yeah.
like Flash, right? It looks dope. Cool.
No, I don't know, man. It's just part of me is like, if this just keep my whole thing is like, I could see this just getting pushed out further and further, and I prefer to have a negative, dismal stance on this, that like my business is never going to open again, because I guess I'd rather plan for the worst case scenario than get my hopes up. But seriously, they've shut down
The city of Las Vegas. The city of Las Vegas shut down.
All of sports. The XFL went out of business. Like the March Madness. All these gigantic companies. Restaurants can't have people in it. Like, who the fuck is thinking about tattoo shops right now? Nobody. It doesn't, that's, so I'm just saying. It's like, I understand my role. If they just let us all get back to work, that'd be great. But I'm not counting on it. I'm waiting for this deadline, which is supposedly like April 30th right now. And I haven't heard anything different.
It ain't gonna be more before June. It ain't gonna be before June.
Fuck no, I don't think it is. So that's just what I'm saying. It's like, but also, I'm not saying this to like act like I'm, whatever. I'm this shining example of what everybody should do. But it's annoying. I don't want to fucking apply for unemployment because, like you said, like what. Am I going to have to eat that like sooner or later, or is that going to fuck things up down the line? Like, what is that? When I can just as easily, I guess, eat it and pay the rent on this place and just get a job somewhere else in the time being. But again, I'll say it, how fucking stupid is it that I can go and apply and try to work somewhere else, but I can't. There's places that are hiring while my business is shut down.
Full hypocrisy.
What the
Total
fuck?
hypocrisy.
Well, the thing you got going on too now, it was just referenced in a couple different news reports, is you got people getting, take, maybe average workers. You've got these people off all these jobs, they're getting unemployment. And then the government has decided, in addition to the unemployment, which would average around 425 a week or something.
Plus 600.
Now they're giving 600. They just took a bunch of people who it's only supposed to last for 4 months. But I've talked to a couple business people already running into, people saying, well, why would I come back right now?
Bingo.
I'm making more money, by doing nothing.
Jeez.
Why do you think, and I'm not that guy, but why do you think it's so explosive in inner cities? Like the COVID rates and stuff like that.
It's just ignorance, people not, paying attention, getting together for things.
Looking at that unemployment. If you're in an inner city and you're in a dire situation, that's what I'm saying. Is that if you can claim unemployment,
they're going.
They're going to make way more money than what they would have.
Is that why there's all this outrage of like not enough tests being available? Because people need to get tested to say that they have it, so that they can. Do you need? Do you get some kickback on that too if you test positive and you can't work?
I think so. Yeah.
Because how else could you collect?
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going with that. Yeah,
I know, but I will say, to be the contrarian, this ain't going out till June. You're going to see pockets opening up.
You think so?
I hope
I think
so.
you're going to see
I
a
hope
bunch of
so.
opening in May.
We all want that. We all want it, but we are looking at. I think,
fuckface Evers shut down the state parks.
Yeah, what's up with
dude,
that?
that is such horror. Yeah, I saw. I drive by.
That's
Cattle
what makes
Moraine
me
every
not
day, and
hopeful. Yeah, they even like
they put cones out. They put
in
like
a
cones
big
and
ass
shit.
sign, a flashing sign that says
Right.
the park is closed
Yeah,
until
how
further
much,
notice.
How much does that shit cost?
No
Yeah,
shit.
right.
Because some idiot drew a couple dicks over in Madison and we shut down the whole
Yeah.
state.
Some
Are you
some
serious? That happened?
Yeah,
a
that's-
thing?
that
that's
was
why
the
they shut
reason,
it down.
dude.
They didn't shut it down because of
what?
this virus, dude.
Oh,
They
give
shut
me the
it
story.
down.
Give me the story.
So I don't. Maybe John knows more than I do, but
I didn't hear
somebody. So they made the parks free, right?
Yeah.
Because People don't have anything else to
which
do. So
which
might as
parks
well
were
go.
always free. It was like
The parking pass or whatever to get in. So they made that free. So then, just a bunch of people that don't normally go to the park, I think, ended up going to the park because it's free. Like, whatever, might as well. We got nothing else to do. And, drew some dicks.
Well,
Well,
you draw
you
some
got-
dicks
as-
on a good
yeah,
sign.
all the-
as is
all these
tradition.
kids-
You're gonna draw some dicks on a good sign, man. A good white sign is gonna get some dicks on
Yeah.
it, man. And so they shut down the parks because of
Yeah,
that.
dude, and Grace and I have been going to the parks quite a bit. And you know what? I had been thinking for weeks is like there is a real lack of dick vandalism in this park right now. Like we could really use some decor, something to lighten the mood,
Yeah.
And then one patriot goes out and spray paints a big old green dick on the side of a restroom.
How detailed
And-
was it?
Yeah,
think-
was it veiny? Was it veiny? Was it
Big
hairy?
old-
Could you have done better?
Big old veiny triumphant bastard.
Let's just say I respected his point of view.
Nice.
From the top tuna can.
But who? Like, I was talking. It's like, oh man, I think it was Grace. Grace's take on this whole thing was like, how about instead of punishing everybody, you hand one of those park rangers a magic eraser and tell them to clean it up?
Right.
Oh,
Like they normally do.
Right.
Wow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dude. And also,
That
okay.
could be the worst response to dick drawings ever.
lo-
Like, that's terrible.
Yeah. I mean, to me, that would be vandalism. Taking a magic eraser to that work of art.
Agreed.
But kind of along that line to that point, I think it was Philly. I was getting some wisdom from this dude at work this morning.
Philly's a shit show.
Yeah, total shit show. And this dude got like arrested and his ass beat. And I don't know the whole story, so whatever. I'm sure there's more to this. But as the headline read, this dude like got punished and his ass beat for not wearing a mask in public.
What? He got beat up?
I did not verify this. This is what he told me. But what the Keith was saying, like, how about instead of like, because that's another thing is like narking people out for not following all the rules and stuff. But why shouldn't police right now? Because Philly had all the crazy rules of like, we're not going to arrest you for this, we're not going to do this. Yeah, like why shouldn't the police maybe have right now a little fanny pack next to their holster, maybe full of masks? Here you go.
Hey-o.
Could you put this on, please?
Yeah.
Please put this on. It's for your own safety and the
Wow.
safety of others. To
Wow.
serve and protect, right? Or to beat the ass of people who aren't complying with, deep state.
Yeah, that doesn't fall in line. Like,
Boot on your
helping
neck
people be safe,
bullshit.
it doesn't fall in line with the Gestapo regime.
Right, but instead of hassling someone and then, because I guess this guy was like resisting arrest or whatever, but it was for not wearing a mask.
Stop resisting!
Yeah, kick the shit out of him instead of just like offering him some PPE.
Wow.
Fucked, right? I mean, come on, what's
Yeah.
going on? Like this whole way of thinking is so
Dude, it's
backwards
basically like
right
beating
now.
the fuck out of somebody,
But people
telling them that you're trying to protect them.
right now, so many people are just like begging for Big Brother to tell them what to do, and like,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
please, sir, thank you, sir, may I have another? Like
Yeah,
they're,
they
like,
want it big time.
It's fucked up, man.
It is.
I don't know. I hope we're turning a corner on all this.
We're
but-
not. We're not. I think it's red pilled some people, but it hasn't red pilled.
No.
It hasn't even red pilled as many people as Epstein did, and those people went back to fucking sleep, and they're fucking quarantining themselves right now. Because what this is doing is this is medical martial law that is just a precursor to another one that's going to happen later. Because they're already saying that this is going to show back up and fall.
Oh, yeah. Rolling shutdowns for 18 months or
Yep.
whatever.
Oh yeah, dude,
They're-
they're
yep.
already sprinkling.
They're
that in.
they're showing a graph like when we'll shut down, when we won't, when we shut down, when we won't.
So we're gonna have
And-
like shutdown season pretty soon.
Dude, yes. People will factor in shutdowns, and it's going to happen. And this was like a beta test.
Yeah, and that's
All
not
this was
sustainable.
was-
You're gonna kill all small businesses.
Yep.
And what maybe
Yeah, but-
maybe this is petty and small, but you're not gonna have. You're killing culture. You're not gonna have any restaurants. You're not gonna have any small businesses. You're not gonna all your small mom and pop stores, which are already getting stomped out by fucking your
Well,
Walmarts.
you got to
and
kill the
everything
small
else. Like-
businesses so that all the big ones can come in and buy them up.
exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's all. And they have the money to buy them up because we've given them this fucking money, this bailout money. this fucking stimulus money. So the big businesses still have money to fucking buy up the small businesses, which aren't getting any money. And they're definitely not, they might get, like you said, you get that, you could apply for that $10,000 thing, whether you're going to get it, whether you're not, whether you're going to have to pay 10 times that back. It won't matter because you're going to be fucked. In the fucked enough to,
And I feel so bad for, so I've been rocking, a little Top Chef marathon all day. Dude, I've just had a lazy fucking day. It's been great. I did
by
work
day, do
this
you mean
morning.
month?
Yeah. Come on, man. I told you I'm working part-time.
Putting you on blast.
I took 3 naps today, dude.
That's dope.
Took 3 naps.
I'm jealous
I took
as fuck of you.
After you left today, Jackson,
Jackson's like,
I
yep,
went
that's
and took a nap.
Mm-hmm.
Grace baked cookies and made homemade salsa. She woke me up.
Cookies were bomb, by the way.
Nice.
I will pass that
Is
along.
there some left?
Yes, there is.
I finished-
I have specific instructions for what cookies you can eat and which ones you cannot when we get home.
Okay.
But anyways, so I took a nap, and Grace made cookies and homemade salsa while I was sleeping.
Dope.
She woke me up about a half hour later because she wanted me to taste test the cookies because she says she fucked up the recipe. It was still delicious, but they were a little salty, the cookies. So I had a cookie and a couple of chips and dips of salsa. And then since she fucked up the cookies, she goes, well, I'm going to get back to baking. You going to go back to sleep? I was like, hell yeah.
Wow.
So
Damn.
nap number 2. It was great.
Wow.
And then I woke back up, had lunch, then dozed off on the couch watching Top Chef. Anyways,
Jesus.
so... Dude, it was a weird fucking day here, though. In my defense, it was 30 degrees, and it was sunny 1 minute, sunny the next,
yeah.
snowing again. It was,
If you
it was
looked
a weird
outside,
day.
if you looked outside, it would be Arctic.
I would say,
Are you Arctic, Pacific, Arctic, Pacific, Arctic, Pacific?
I would say I'm not proud of it, but I am.
Yeah,
It was great, and now here I am. But anyways, so
you look rejuvenated. I
While-
must say, I had 3 hours of non-REM sleep after coming off a night shift today,
oh shit,
and yeah, so that's
So-
where I'm at.
to just pedal my way to my original point. While I'm watching Top Chef on Hulu, I'm watching the Vegas season from 2009, great season. Voltaggio brothers.
Jesus.
I'm watching the DoorDash ads, dude. DoorDash ads, DoorDash ads. And there's these DoorDash ads, and I can appreciate this. There was a DoorDash ad that was kind of highlighting these local businesses, this place open for delivery, this place open for delivery. It was maybe people have seen this ad.
all of them.
So promoting the small restaurants, and the whole time I'm just okay, yes, DoorDash is
Deadlock.
no. This good. DoorDash is promoting, they're delivering from everybody, and
Yep.
it's awesome that they took out a commercial to promote
It's a dope
the
service.
small restaurants, yes. But I would definitely probably go out on a limb here and saying with confidence that DoorDash is probably mostly delivering fast food and chain stores, fucking Chili's and Applebee's and bullshit
yeah,
like that, Cheesecake
definitely.
Factory, shit like that. And meanwhile, dude, I feel so bad for a lot of these all of these smaller restaurants that are literally hanging on by a fucking thread. This is not sustainable to be a restaurant only doing carry out when you're paying for a big ass fucking empty dining room.
Yeah.
How
What's the
long
mom-
can this continue?
Well, how many mom and pop shops do you know that have an easy to use web menu?
No
I
shit.
go based off of if I go on your website and you don't have an easy to use menu, I feel uncomfortable, and I'm going to order from something that has an easy to use menu that I can see and that I know that's going to work well. It's these mom and pop shops that don't have they haven't invested in a website, not by their fault. I don't fault them because I don't care. I love local fucking shop, local places that I can get a nice whiskey old fashioned sour and a fish fry from, and I don't give a shit. But
Yeah. I mean,
I won't be able to go on their website and order it from DoorDash because it's going to be weird.
well,
They're
yeah,
not gonna
and
have
even-
an Instagram or Twitter Like those little shops they're not gonna be like tweeting.
Right, because they don't have the manpower to have like the marketing. But also on top of that, do you want to get like, I don't know, fucking Five Guys or Culver's or Noodles or something that like it's gonna be to your house? You know, they can make it this fast. It's like fast food that's still gonna taste like you want it to when it gets to your house. Or are you gonna spend fucking $15, $18 a plate to support like the mom and pop business that by the time it gets to your house it tastes like shit? You know what I mean? Like it just sucks. There's no simple solution here. I feel so bad for. That's what I mean. This is killing culture, right? I mean, it's the restaurants and shit. Like they're not going to be able to sustain and make this if it's this rolling shutdown.
But if the banks, so if the banks are propping up, because a lot of these places don't own their, they're not going to own their business outright. They don't own their building outright. The banks don't profit from these people going under. How are we going to recover from this?
I don't think a lot of these restaurants, though, they might be renting that space. There's somebody that owns the building, leasing to the restaurant owner.
But if the person owns a bunch of buildings and they're leasing them, and all of their lessees can't pay their bills,
right, yeah.
I mean, it all trickles up. Like, I don't know. Like,
it's a big fucking mess, isn't it?
It's gonna be a goddamn catastrophe. It's gonna. Yeah, here we go.
No, I agree completely. And the people that own those properties, guess what? Their property taxes are probably going to go up next year. All their expenses are going to stay the same, and nobody's going to be paying rent. So, like, then what happens?
Right.
I mean, it's a mess. And like, I got a pretty shitty rental property in Milwaukee, and it's the same deal. It's like these, there's a no eviction order in place, like whether these people pay or not, you can't evict them.
You're gonna be having squatters' rights
because of the COVID, right? So like I could potentially not get any rents for X amount of months and not evict people until they say you can. Luckily, they're still paying rent. I mean, it's cheap. It's not like whatever. But yeah, but that's I know of people that aren't getting rents, and the kicker is that the people that aren't paying rents they're saying they lost their job, and they are confirmed on unemployment, making almost double what they made when they were working. And since they don't have, technically, air quotes, they don't have to pay rent, they're not going to.
Yeah. Evan, I hope you don't get a letter from your tenant next month that you think is a rent check, and it just says, "Hey, listen to that little podcast you were on last month."
Fuck you.
You're gonna have a bigger issue with real estate too.
Thanks.
There are a lot of companies over various fields and things that. This isn't conjecture. This is stuff I'm hearing discussed right now, and people are talking about look out for certain real estate investment trusts.
Not just BS.
There's a lot of corporations that are discovering their sales force or their white-collar workers, that sort of thing, are doing perfectly fine at home. They don't need the big spaces.
The infrastructure.
Yeah, they don't need to be taking out major. There's going to be a restructuring of pricing and everything. Because
Evan's wife worked in the corporate world. Well, I mean, so did you. She was kind of saying the same thing, like, because our good buddy lives, next door. Like, he's doing his work from home too. Said the same thing. It's like it's amazing the amount of work you can get done just at home at your own pace. You don't have an ass in the seat for fucking. Yeah. Oh yeah, you too. Yeah, like you don't have to be there for 8 fucking hours. Like.
Right. Those commercial spaces are expensive, man. That cubicle costs some money. So, like,
dude, so are we just going to have desolate downtowns?
Dude,
like
we
abandoned
might.
skyscrapers? Every fucking city's going to look like Detroit?
Dude, is that like that brand new Northwestern building that they just built downtown? Is that just going to fucking crumble or what?
Depends what they all do. You got to see the different professions are still going to be required, or different positions in companies are still going to have something, but for a lot of corporations, the real estate is their biggest expense. And if they can cut that in a half or more, they're going to do that. That goes right to the bottom line.
So Zoom wins in this. Like Zoom wins
fuck
in
yeah,
this
dude.
thing.
Yeah.
And also, who knows? Maybe they will tighten it down a little bit, and they'll be like, well, you have to have your webcam on from this time to this time, and we need to see you.
Oh, yeah. There's already, they can track, because you basically have to, a lot of times you have to ghost your computer. So where you have your computer at work, and then you ghost in on that computer, so they can actually see, like, they can log what you have going on. But there was a point I wanted to make about the infrastructure, which is eluding me right now. And I can't remember what it was.
Infrastructure.
Yeah, it was a lot of infrastructure. In her structure. No, I can't remember.
Do you
Okay.
do you guys use like the link at work at all, like where you can communicate through like basically like instant messenger on your computers?
No, basically where I work, it's like, especially at nights, it's me and one other dude.
Oh, gotcha.
So
okay.
we communicate via radio and then
nice
face to face.
Got it. Because where I used to work and where my wife used to work, they use that as kind of like their communication tool, and like of course
Like IM stuff. You're
yeah. And like if you were actually like using your computer, it would be like a green light, and then if you like didn't move the mouse for 5 minutes, it would turn red.
I think that's what like something that's my mom's on right now.
Yeah. So like there
Yeah.
was people that like when they worked from home, like
They can log your
my
hours,
wife
basically.
called them flickers. Because, like, they
Oh,
wouldn't
they
do
just-
shit all day,
just
except
flick their-
they would, like, move their mouse to make
Oh,
sure the
that's-
little thing was green.
Oh,
Like,
that's fucked up.
but, like, I feel like there's going to be a whole wave of flickers out there now.
That's what it's
Like,
gonna be.
Yep, just people that normally just would just stroking it at work.
Dude, I think
and-
there's a chance that they might make you put a webcam on there and make sure you're in front of your fucking computer, dude.
That's probably what's coming, man.
You know what we need to do is start into the maybe get into the deep fakes game with mannequins and put a face over the mannequin.
The whole, like, cheating on work
Yeah,
industry is going to
right.
explode. Like,
Oh man, yeah, we need to get ahead of this because the Flickr thing, that's just the beginning. First of all, we need to get something that just just a mouse that moves itself.
right.
First of all. And then we get something something that creates like
you
a
get the
dummy.
hologram, like the deep fake
Yeah,
of your
yeah.
face on the webcam.
Right, because a lot of people say that deepfakes were created because they want to be able to debunk Pizzagate. Coming back to
Ooh. Dude,
shadows.
People be deep faking like Darth Vader cardboard cutouts and shit with the.
What we're talking about is we'd have to deepfake being at work.
Right,
So
that's
when
what I'm
you work
saying.
from
You
home-
like put like a cardboard cutout of like Michael Jordan or something in your desk chair, but just deep fake the face to your
Oh,
own face.
just the car. Exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah. So
See, I'd be peeing, but I'd be listening.
Be quiet. I'm talking again. Yeah, it's gonna happen.
It's possible.
It
People
is.
are going to get crafty. It's going to be hilarious.
Dude, the amount of energy people put into
Not
like
working.
avoiding work as opposed to
Yeah.
actually working, it's probably double.
Oh,
I mean,
I've said that. I've said that my entire life.
Yeah.
Like, if you would just get the job done, you would spend a quarter of the amount of energy and time as it would take to just you spent slacking off on that job.
But if this goes on and you see people working from home for months or years on end now, like the like fake work at home industry is gonna explode. I mean, it's gonna be awesome. Just wait.
Oh yeah, dude. Well, and how many of these people are even gonna want to go back to work? There's some in there too. Oh, thanks, man.
Nope, nobody.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Everybody's getting used to this. Like,
yeah, everybody can sit around in their banana hammock, just like on a conference call with like a bow tie on. You know, everybody's living like that Chippendales life right now.
With a banana? What?
Dad, you can't tell me now that you've had this revelation that you can do your job from home. Are you wearing pants?
Considering that there's women in the household, yeah, pretty certain that they're always on.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're behind the desk. The pants kind of work their way to the floor every once in a while.
No, but we could give it a shot.
All right,
Yeah.
there we go. So you got
When
two
you're getting
things to
sig-
do tomorrow.
When
Yeah.
you're getting signature, when you're
that's
getting
where
signature,
that's where if you're going to do that, you better make sure you put a little sticky piece of paper or something over the little camera on top.
Tom just figured out
Yeah.
how to beat Big Brother from the Office
Yeah.
perspective.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
that.
That meme,
Yeah.
the piece of tape covering.
Yeah, just the piece of tape,
Right.
the
Video.
sticky note over the webcam.
even-
Got it. Got him.
Even Mark Zuckerberg fucking puts a piece of tape over his fucking camera.
Right.
Like that should be the ultimate. But when you get signatures, you put the pants on or not?
Get signatures. We'd have electronic signatures
Not that. No.
going out.
This
different.
guy's never gotten an electronic signature.
Dude, and how many people? All right, I'm gonna
Well,
kind
let's
of
put it
bring
this
it back.
way: I got signatures from you. Were my pants on?
Do you want me to
What-
answer that?
Oh yeah, yeah. You go right ahead.
All right, our listeners already know what's going on here. That's kind of how you guys started this whole thing. But okay, electronic signatures. Let's just think about this too. How many people are using? It's an electronic signature. How many people, just for shits, sign with their dick?
That's a boss move. I bought my house with my dick.
Not sorry. I mean,
That is-
people.
I mean, you're the one that's got to use that phone or tablet afterwards.
People would be
so
changing
you
the
are
rules on
one
all
that's
kinds of
kind of
things.
fucking yourself.
You gotta turn
over.
off the lights to see the signature because it's like,
What if you just like
you just like
you just mushroom stamp it and don't do anything after that? Like, just-
sir. Yeah,
you just,
doesn't look like a thumbprint at all.
you know what's cool is my name starts with a D, so I got that going with me because that's kind of the start of I got that. Yeah. Was that a lowercase d?
Oh, yes.
I had problems as a kid. Okay.
Yeah.
You're the kind that insists on using Roman numerals just for the extra contact.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say just because it was the skinny ones.
I.
We've gone off the rails.
All right. Yeah.
We've gone off the rails.
I think we've.
Looking at the clock,
Yeah.
I think you're.
We're at almost. We're
you're
about
right
to pop. We're about to pop 2 hours here. I think we might have to have Jackson send us off.
Yeah, Jackson.
What?
Take us out.
Dude, this is a
This is
thing
their
we
favorite
do.
Part is when I can't say shit
Dude,
at the end.
Jackson, send us out, brother.
because- Dude, I think you should send us out.
No, man, come on. He
All right,
brought
fine.
us
Hey,
in.
do
You
it.
take
Yeah.
us
All right,
out.
we'll
he
have
brought
Tom.
us
We'll
in,
have
you
Tom.
take
We'll have
us
Tom
out.
send us out, and then Jackson's got to send us out after Tom sends us out.
Okay. I like the two send out.
Well, we hope you've been enjoying tonight's show. You have been listening to one of the fastest rising phenomenons across the country.
My
Held to
dick.
Play podcast. So, with that, make sure you tune in next week. But to have the final word, I give you Jackson.
More like we're doing a pod tomorrow.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah, peace.
Come on, man.
Damn it,
Give the
man.
listeners
Damn
what they want. They want some wisdom. They want some flavor.
Yeah, man.
think it's
Just a little
important.
flavor.
That you plant seeds of knowledge into other people in a non-literal way, and then you see that tree grow within them as they find out the deeper meanings of the universe.
Whoa.
But don't force your seed on anybody.
And don't
No.
try and teach.
Okay,
Don't
yeah, no, that's a felony. Yeah.
and don't try and teach Don't try and teach globalism to your woke 15-year-old student.
True. Yep.
Yeah. Save your globalist bullshit for the next guy.
I'm sick of the word woke anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
See you on the next one.
All right.
Just looking out, don't stop.